Hey guys, welcome back. It is now part 2 of our Klingon Bird of Prey 1/650th build, and as you can see, I got some parts laid out here. I washed everything, and I'm starting to take stuff off the sprue and think about how I'm going to get everything together. I did discover there are 2 positions you can put the wings in, which is awesome. Neither of them are the position that they show on the box, unfortunately, because that's kind of what I wanted to do, but they're not that bad. So if we look at the instructions here, we can see that these vents control what position you have the wings in. We have these longer ones, and we have these 2 shorter ones. You can see this is the cruise position with the wings out. That would be these 2 shorter ones. And the attack position down here with the wings down, and that would be these 2 sets of vents. So obviously we'll be using the attack version of those. And something else here, as I'm going through this manual, I am starting to appreciate it more and more, because of the sense of humor. Yes, sense of humor. So I was looking through this, and you can see you get your cruising and in your attack mode, but you also have, this is great. You see that? Your cloaked mode, which is just the base. Someone at AMT has a wonderfully twisted sense of humor. So, I'm loving the instructions. I don't normally like instructions, but there. So now I'm thinking about lighting. A lot more complex than I thought, actually. A lot less room than I thought I would have. So, we have some challenges ahead of us. And let's start with the wings. The wings have 2 lights. Right here. These little nubs, those are lights. Now, let's see, which one is this? I need this one. Let's see. Wait. Or is it this one? It is this one. Okay. You can see under those lights, or on the back side of those lights, there's 2 little divots. That's great. I could mount my LEDs in there. I'm going to use SMDs actually, and the light will flow out the front. No problem. I can carve little channels in here, and luckily we have this nice detail, this open area, to run the wires from here to back here. Just channel these out. No problem. This plastic right here is fairly thick, so creating little channels for the wires should be no problem. There almost is enough room to not run channels. In fact, I'm going to test it, but you're talking about so little room. And it might just barely fit the wires, but I don't want to pinch them, so I might do channels anyways. So that is your starboard wing. As we move on to the port wing, as you can see, we have the nubs. We do not have the little channels. I am not sure why one of these wings has them and the other does not. That is very confusing. And there's not flash in there. I've already poked at it with a knife. It's just, they closed one and left one open. That's not going to be a big deal. I'll just drill 2 holes there and then channel back. Not too big a deal. Now, the hull. The hull. So, interesting ship, interesting shaped ship, interesting way it goes together. There are going to be a lot of seams to be filled. This is kind of how this goes together. I am missing the 2 rails that go in between, but I just want to mock this up just a little bit here, up here. As you can see, when this goes together, you can see on either side of the bridge, there are tiny, teeny, tiny little gaps on either side. You can see it right there. That's going to have to be puttied and filled, as is this, as is, let me do a section back here, how it goes together. Those are going to be filled too. As far as the lights go, there are a lot of little chevrons, which you can see right there. There are 2, There are two. There are two here. There are two here. There's actually one right there. I think there's two. No, that's it. There are also a set of 2, 2, and 2 on this section. And those are all windows. On the nose cone here, or the lower jaw, there are 2 here, and there are 2 here. Also, on the lower jaw, it does have the red ring of death detail. See if I can get to focus in. You can kind of see it there. It is there. It is very small. We're talking like circuit board bit small. The problem with that is, here is the piece that goes on behind the photon emitter. Unfortunately, the edges of this piece cover that hole. So I'm not quite sure how that's going to work. I may have to just remove some material from around here. We'll find that out. But I will drill in these holes, and I will see what it looks like from there. What I want to do, I mean, the hole in the middle for just the emitter part, that's easy. Just drill that hole, and I actually don't need to drill any holes in here. If I don't want to, I can just paint the detail parts and just leave the open parts. Or the little hole in the middle, and there's holes around the side. That's not a big deal. It's just trying to figure out how to light these. Also, since there will be lights above and below, I'm going to have to get LEDs in there. I might be able to just use a 3-strip, and since this is such a small area, if I paint it white, nice glossy white, I might be able to get enough light bounce to kick around in here to light all the windows. I might only need a 3-strip here. And maybe that'll give me enough light bounce to hit these, and all I need to do on the back side of these are fill them with something that's transparent, whether it be glue or canopy glue, and then just paint red behind there. That is what I'm hoping for. Lighting up these 3 sets, pretty easy. Just put a 3-strip behind it. No probs. However, I do have, I believe somewhere in here there's a light. I'll have to look again. There's a light here, and there's a light here. That won't be too big of a deal. Drill down, put my LEDs in here and here. Oop, the bottom side, a little less complex. I think there's only one light. There might be a light here. I know there's a light here. I've already nipped off the nubbin that was there. So 2 lights there. I think that's it. I don't think there's anything else. There are... let's see if I can explain this. So this is not correct. This is the part where everything gets interesting. That was correct. So, as I said, this is kind of the railing here. So not only does this have to get... And I'm going to have to fill... I can already see I'm going to have to fill that in right there, because as you can see my finger behind it. Not only that, but this rail has to go on start at a specific point up here and then run all the way along the edge of the ship. Behind this rail is a detail part. In fact, it's this detail part. And the instructions tell you to put this part on the rail and then connect it to the ship. So that kind of goes in there like that. I have discovered that there is, in fact, it's nice they have the detail for it, because you can see that where you're seeing light through here, that's a red light that shines kind of down on the lower hull. And it comes on both sides. And the thing I like about these is they're not symmetrical. The detail in these pieces are not symmetrical. If I can kind of focus in, yeah, you look at that, not symmetrical. And also, the studio model has a little bit more detail in here. I'm thinking about there's some greeblies that hang down. I'm going to think about doing something with that. Lighting this won't be too big a deal. I am hoping, I don't know. I have to put my 3-strip here, and I'm thinking maybe I could just put little SMDs behind here and not remove the plastic. Just leave the plastic and mask off both sides when I paint it, and then put mount an SMD right about there on either side. And I think outside of the engine, that's right here, which will need to be masked off in several places. Up here, part of this, part of this, part of this part down here. Just masking. And that's going to be a 3-strip. And it's going to be probably mounted somewhere in here. The real problem is these. I think these are lit windows. I will have to look again, but I think these are lit windows. These are the shoulders, or the cowling for the wings. They go pretty much right there. There's also a piece right here that goes underneath them. These two pieces, which again, those are not symmetrical. Oh, that's cool. So those go underneath there, those go there. They kind of cowl around the front of these sections here, these bulkheads that are around the vents. I'm not quite sure how I'm going to get light in there, and it might be really hard to light block behind there because it's just right up against these. So I might have to, I really hate to do individual SMDs into these and then light block it from behind with tape. But that might be a thing. I'll have to look and see if these are lit. I'm pretty sure they are. I think these are going to be the most, pardon me, challenging ones. Anyway, enough talking. That's where I'm at. That's what I'm thinking. I'm going to get to work drilling out windows. I'll be right back when I have something more to show. See you soon. Hey guys, I have been drilling teeny tiny holes. I have the wings done. The holes for those. And this is the side that I drilled out. As you can see, I had to drill pretty far. You can see the light through the plastic, and actually I drilled back a bit too far on that. I have a little bump there I gotta fix. And then we have these guys here, and I'm gonna grab a flashlight on my phone and see if I can make these kind of shine. There you go. You can see their light will transfer. I will add 2 very small SMDs to there. I still have to trench my holes out for the wiring, but that's almost done. Pretty much done. We see the fuselage, the underside. We got the one up front, and we got the one here. There is a detail here that you'll have to cut off if you want to drill that one out. This one, there's no detail. There's a little nub off to the side, but I wanted this centered, so I drilled center. The top here, we have that one there. We have the one right there in the center, and we have the one right there at the end. And there were details. There's a little nub here. There was a, this is kind of obvious, it's a big circle, and this too, a relatively big circle. This, let me show you this. That is very, very, very brittle. For building this kit, be careful. This is brittle. This plastic is brittle and soft at the same time. Very weird. So I have all those drilled out, and I'm starting my windows. I started with the underside of here. You can see there's the 2 windows there. On that side, I still have a little bit of cleanup to do on these, and on this side. So yeah, I have to clean those up. These details were so shallow. Let me see if I can show that off. If you can see here, there are 2 windows right here. They're super shallow, and there's one right there. It's super shallow. Fortunately, though, these windows on this side, as you can see, are rather deep details, and those will be a lot easier to drill out, as are these 2 right here on this side, and the 3 back here. So that should be a lot easier. Now then, and the reason I'm partaking in my not beer. This. I don't know if you can see this. Let's move my light back a bit here. Get some light on the subject. Can you see all those little holes? I don't know if you can or not. There are tons of little holes here. I used the smallest drill bit I have, and it was still too big to take this on. I got these larger ones on the bottom. They were pretty good. But then when I went to drill these microscopic ones on the side, it didn't go too well. And what I mean by this plastic is soft, when I went to drill them, it started to push this ring that's around here outward. So I don't know what I'm going to do. I did put this in because if I am going to do this, I'm going to need to drill through this. So I just glue this in. And maybe that support structure being there will help with the softness of the plastic. I don't know if I'm going to drill these. I don't know if I'm going to fill them and then just paint it red. I haven't determined that. It was frustrating. I had to walk away and get myself a not beer, which I'm not drinking right now. So that is where we are right now. I did pick up some paints. Where are they? They're here. Let's see. I should have been more prepared. I apologize. I thought my paints were closer. So we have this nice maroon for the wings that I'm going to use on the wings. I have this almost key lime green. It's called green apple. Looks a little light. We'll explain that. And I have this kind of medium green for the medium. There's 3 greens on here, or 2 or 3. So we have one that's more of a blue green. We have one that's a dark green, which I'll be using my hunter green on. And then we have it's called pale green for the body. And I thought this is closest to pale green. And I should be mixing up paints and using my airbrush, but still out of commission. So the reason I don't mind this being so light, by the way, is because I'm going to be doing a brown wash over all of this, and that will affect this color. The other thing that will affect this color is I'm going to be doing black primer, so that will affect the shade of this color as well. So that hopefully will mitigate the brightness of the green. It shouldn't be bright. Well, so bright. It should be, I don't know, whatever color green this is. There's only several thousand shades of it. Also, look at I finally got my Klingon cruiser. And maybe I'll just do a kit review of this later, but this went to the wrong address. Not once, but twice. So, and this is the 86. It says 84 down here, but it's actually the 86, the 20th anniversary. Unfortunately, no sticker came with this, or at least it wasn't in the box. This is obviously used. The 25th anniversary came with a sticker, and I know I have it somewhere around here from one of my kits. Anyways, I'm going to get back to drilling out windows and trying to figure this out, what I'm going to do for this out. I'll be right back, guys. The windows are done. This kid has been fighting me tooth, nail, claw, big toe, elbow, what do you name it, it's been doing it. Anyways, let's get to the wings. I did cut the trenches in for the wires, and that's really a lot thinner than I thought it was. You can see right through the plastic here. Let's see it better maybe on this side. Yeah, so be very careful if you're going to do this. And both of the wings fared the same in that regard. You can see right through. Here we go. And then the windows. Oh dear. So I got them all drilled out. Got the 3 in here. I think I had these done last update. I didn't have any of these done. These guys are done. And then there's this one right here. This one right here. That's a piece of styrene. I don't know if you can tell, but yeah, that's a piece of styrene. What happened was I drilled it too much, and that became a little wafer in between, and it looked horrible. So I just cut the whole thing off, squared it off, and just took some evergreen styrene strip, and that's what's in there. And there's still a little remainder on the back side there just to kind of help brace it. I've got it glued in, a bunch of canopy glue, a little bit of super glue, so that's not going anywhere. I will have to mask it off when I paint. And then we come down to this. The object of my ire. The object of the frustration. The reason that I didn't get to paint this week is because of this stupid little thing. That looks awful. I don't know why it is focusing on my hand and not the thing I wanted to focus on. That looks awful. I don't know if you could tell, but it looks awful. And every time I go to try to fix it, I make it look worse. So I'm throwing in the towel. I know, that's very lame of me, but I just don't want to ruin it even more than it is. That's kind of what the point I'm at right now. And I'm just going to paint the red ring around there. I know, super lame, but I'm destroying details that I don't want to destroy. So I'm going to fill in those holes with a little bit of the old putty and try to rescribe in the details as best I can. So unfortunately, that's going to do it for this week. I want to thank everyone for watching. Next week, we'll be moving on to paint. I'm not going to focus too much on the paint, so hopefully we'll get some lighting started. And I should probably buy my lights for this, shouldn't I? Yeah, I should. Anyways, thanks for watching. I'll check you guys hopefully next week. Take care of yourselves.